Hey everybody, Joe Grushkin from the National Association of Local Businesses. I'm here with Joe M. Turner, who is a corporate speaker and entertainer, and he is going to be sharing with us 3 lessons from magic that you could have learned in business school. And I'm so excited to have him with us. He is really an interesting and very, very entertaining speaker. So, Joe, welcome to the Onward and Upward Virtual Networking Group. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure to see you and to be with all of you today. Let's start with some magic and then we'll talk about it. All right. Let's
Sounds good.
just dig right in. I have something interesting I want to show you that I keep here in my wallet. Don't worry about that. That's just the security system. It's to protect. It's to protect this tiny little stash of cash. And it's not much. It's just $5, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'd like you to think about if you had $5 and you could do anything with it. If you could put it in your pocket, if you could, I don't know what you're going to do with it. But if you had $5 and you could do anything, what would you do? If I had $5 and I could do anything, I would change it to something more useful. So there's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. That's pretty amazing. It's not the most amazing part of this. The most amazing part of this is I just got better looking. I don't know how that works, but relax. This is pre-tax, federal, state, local, self-employment, ad valorem, property, sales, gas, road, school, estate, and capital gains. It cost me $4.95 to show you that, but at least I have all of this virtual applause. So let's talk about magic and what on earth does magic have to do with business? Well, I'm a former management consultant. I worked with a company now known as Accenture. Back in the 90s, I was a manager in their change practice. And it turns out that there are some parallels that have to do with how we create amazing experiences for our audience, both on stage, and how that can affect the way we do business for our own customers, clients, the experiences we give to our employees. So today I'm going to take you to Hogwarts Business School, and we're going to talk about some principles from magic that apply to your business. And the first one I'd like to talk about is this. Audiences will gladly pay. They will pay a premium to be amazed. I mean, let's talk about David Copperfield for just a second. He's an outlier, admittedly, but he's a billionaire. He became a billionaire through magic and smart performing, smart investing. He's a brilliant man. He became the first magician to ever become a billionaire. Now, why would anyone think magic has a relationship to business? Well, let's talk about that. The truth is that magic is loaded with concepts that have to do with sales, marketing, customer service, engaging an audience, entrepreneurship. So the first one, as I said, is that audiences will gladly pay to be amazed. When a person buys a ticket for a magic show, whether it's David Copperfield or someone in Vegas or someone local, or even all the way to, a party of some kind, they expect the show to break the rules. They expect it to create a wonderful, delightful moment. And if they don't leave having experienced something impossible, then they feel shortchanged. They feel like they didn't get what they paid for. Now, fortunately for your business and for most businesses, the bar isn't quite that high. You don't have to deliver something that's actually physically impossible or a psychic experience. But the principle is the same. The person who buys the product or service that you have to take to market, they may not expect to be amazed with an impossible physics experience, but they want to be amazed and will react positively if you exceed their expectations. Because that's really what magic is about. It's not about fooling people. The art of magic in the theater is not about deceit I mean, it's fiction. We read fictional novels, we watch fictional television shows, and we go to fictional plays, and that's what magic is. It's fiction, but ideally it's fiction with a point that tells a story and connects to people and moves them in some way, right? That's how theater works. Well, you're on stage too. Your business, the curtain is up, the spotlight is on you, and the question becomes, are you going to engage your audience in some kind of story? And it doesn't matter what it is that you sell or what service you provide, uh, you can provide unexpected mysteries. And in my larger keynotes, I have time to give a lot of examples on that. But the main takeaway, which is what I want to distill this down to, is that you can deliver unexpected, delightful results in the way that you interact with your customers. A mystery is a beautiful thing. It's a valuable thing. It's too valuable to be squandered. So if you create an experience, and it doesn't have to be that you have a secret formula like Coca-Cola or something like that. It can just be something that's the secret sauce in the way that you answer your email. It can be something that's a special ingredient that's built into the text of a contract that you send out, that it's just there to surprise the people who find it. And you're not trying to sneak in something tricky or anything like that. It's just there to make them see it and go, oh my gosh, I didn't expect that. When you do that, you are delivering something that stands out from the normal, let's call it the laws of nature, right? That's what magic is about, sort of breaking the expectation of the normal things that are happening around us. So if you do something that differentiates you from the other people delivering your product or service, then you naturally stand out. And if it's clever, if it's fun, if it's something that people can talk about on social media, then that's great. And that doesn't mean you have to be a Facebook genius, but if the way you answer the phone, the way that you what's in your email signature, all of these are opportunities for you to touch people with something unusual and amazing, and create this rare moment of the way I expected the world to work isn't how it's working right now. And that pattern interrupt, that thing that sticks out from the background noise, that is amazing. And that is something that audiences will be happy to pay for. But that brings me to lesson 2, which is this. If it doesn't look like magic, if what you're doing doesn't look like magic, it's not ready for the stage. You're not ready to take it to the market if it doesn't look smooth. In my world, if someone comes out and you can tell that they're kind of struggling through what they're doing, then the magical experience goes down. So the amount of technique that they see diminishes the amount of magic that's experienced. Magic is about hiding the technique. So as the technique goes down, the experience of magic goes up. Okay. The effect and the method is how we break it down in magic. We have the effect, which is what the audience experiences. We have the method, which is what we're doing. And the more method is important, generally the less effect the audience experiences if they're catching on to the method. But the more you hide the method, the more the magical experience goes up. Well, the same is true for the way we do business. Now, you may remember a deodorant commercial from years ago about never let them see you sweat, right? I think it was that's not about swagger. That's not about going out and just trying to posture in a inauthentic way. It's about confidence, and it's about delivering what you have to offer to that audience in a way that takes away the anxiety that you may not quite be prepared to do it. The most important thing to your audience, and this is hard for magicians, is not how hard I worked on my technique. My audience really couldn't care less about the 10,000 hours or the 20,000 reps or the number of exercises I have to do with these 2 fingers in order to strengthen them to do something that I need to do. Audience doesn't care. They just want to be amazed. The parallel to the way that applies to the way we do business is this. Your audience isn't really interested in the limitations of your computer system or your voicemail system or the other systems or processes or what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. All of those are your technique. All of those are your process, your practice, your method. And the more method that your audience has to interact with, the less magic they experience. So the details of my process are not interesting to my audience. And I would argue that the details of your process aren't interesting to your audience either. So we want to hide the process as much as possible and focus strictly on what is the audience experiencing. Yes, it feels like tedious, repetitive practice to develop the skills to execute those methods in a smooth way, but it's worth it. And then I'll really close with one final point, and that is something you've probably heard of. When we talk about magic, we talk about, oh, it's just misdirection. It's misdirection. I think that that is a poor way to talk about it because it puts the attention on the wrong thing, which is sort of ironic because that's sort of what misdirection is. But there was a great magician in Europe named Tommy Wonder, and he said it's not misdirection, it's direction. And you think about the fact that, yes, there may be something that you don't want your audience to see, but if you're trying to misdirect them, your audience picks up on it. If you say, oh, look, and there's Elvis, or look, an elephant. And, you know, if everybody's looking at the elephant and you walk out a pony onto the stage and say, ta-da, a pony, nobody perceives the magic because they know they were misdirected. It felt phony. It felt contrived. Real magic happens when everything that people are looking at is important. It's still important. And the skillful communicator, the skillful brander, marketing or PR person realizes that it's not about trying to give them a distraction so that they don't look at something else. It's about giving them other truly important things to look at. In magic, I'm not going to try to say, look, there's an elephant. It feels like I'm trying to make you look away. What I have to do is make sure that every step of the way, there are many important things to consider, and I'm going to intentionally direct your attention to something legitimately important. And that may give me the space to do the other things behind the scenes and help keep your focus off of my process and on the method. So think about that. It is not misdirection of attention. Misdirection feels phony. Direction is a legitimate thing. And the way we direct attention is about the way we tell our story to our audience. Now, you can probably think in your own mind of public figures, companies, associations, experiences in the last 5, 10, 20 years where maybe someone didn't handle that well. A crisis happened and the way they covered it up didn't feel legitimate, or maybe they even lied about it. They were trying to misdirect by casting attention or blame on something else. I was hacked, right? That's the standard one. But you know, we all know how we feel when a misdirection story comes up. It feels like an excuse. It feels like it's just trying to take our attention off by putting it on some elephant on stage. And that's not useful. Direct them to something that's equally important or maybe even more important and keep the story focused on that. And in the time that I have left, I'd like to share with you one more magic trick, if that's okay. And this is cool. We're going to take one of those dollars, and that's got Washington on the front and eagles and pyramids on the back. You can remember that. So keep an eye on George. Many of us learned that trick when we were kids, where if we fold a dollar bill up in a special way, and then when we unfold it, George Washington is upside down. Do you remember that trick? This is similar. In this case, though, when I unfold the bill, George Washington is inside out. And that's a really strange and unexpected piece of unreality. So here's the thing. That bill has all the pieces, but it's no good. It's got all the pieces, but they're not aligned properly, and I can't spend it. I think that's true for many of us, small businesses, all the way up to large organizations who have all the pieces we need, but we don't have them aligned properly. But once we get them back into alignment, then it means that we can be profitable. And that's why I appreciate Joe Grushkin asking me to be here with you today to talk about lessons from magic that apply to the way we do business. Because I think that what I have to offer and the other people that you have to offer that you have seen in this series are going to help you get all of the pieces of your business in alignment the way that you need so that you can be successful. Joe, that's my time. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Joe, that was tremendous and great information, not only useful information, but it really impacted me because as a sales professional, technique and what they're seeing really made sense to me. So I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. It was an excellent message, right on point with not only what we do in business, but in some of the things that are going on in the world now today too about misdirection or direction. So thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. I think it's going to get a lot of play and it's going to help a lot of people. So congratulations on such a great message. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
All right, so we are going to go to the networking portion of the meeting now. I want to thank Joe M. Turner, who is a business, corporate speaker, and entertainer. He is going to be available. His information will be in the chat, so you have that accessible to you. And if you want to contact Joe, you can get to him through his website. What's your website, Joe?
turnermagic.com.
turnermagic.com, and I'm sure he'll be happy to be available to you or your group. So this is Joe Grushkin from the National Association of Local Businesses. We offer over 100 top quality products and services at discounted pricing, normally reserved for much larger companies. If your business would like to be more profitable, productive, and promoted, contact us at naolb.com. Joe, thanks for being here. We appreciate all your insights. It was really awesome. Take care.